lively little Yorkshire barbel. I think £3 is about where we're at there. I wouldn't want to go any bigger than that. That's awesome. Grunting away at me, this one. Good fight for the size of it, and proper redemption to have gone. Obviously my 4th trip now barbel fishing, lost 2, finally landed one. Yes, it's small, but I think we can handle bigger. Brilliant. I'm chuffed. That's my river season off the mark. Right, this fish is still really lively, so I think we'll get a couple of pictures of it and then pop it back. I'm just using the net to keep the fish upright. Gills are going nicely, this one. Fins are kicking, so it won't be long. Little kick at the end there, so you know you've done your job right. Jeez, I think the Air Force are back off furlough today. Man, our hawks zipping around the place like crazy. Anyway, let's show you the rig that caught that fish on. So, a little bit different to what I normally use, but sticking along the same lines, nice and strong. We've got a lead clip. I like lead clips, very safe to use, pretty much hook the fish for you. And when I'm changing swims, I can take the lead off that clip, put it in my pocket, and it's not banging around and hitting the rod. Lead wise, I always go for probably heavier than I need. That's a 4-ounce gripper. I bet I could get away with 3 ounces here, but I quite like a big lead the way it rams the hook home, and you know, hopefully you don't lose as many fish. And that has been happening to me, so I've made a couple of little differences. The first fish I lost was because my hook link snapped. It was tied to 12-pound mono. I use that a lot, and for most fishing situations, open rivers, not too snaggy, that'll be fine. But it snapped, so I made a change. I'm on 15-pound coated braid here. Behaves quite similarly to a stiff mono, but you've got that extra strength. It's very abrasion resistant with that coating being on there. Hook's my usual size 6 wide gape, and I've left the coating on the braid all the way to the hook so that it's stronger, but also you get that little kick in there, which I think really helps to hook the fish a bit better. The braid, however, the coating is taken off at the bait, so it can move around. There's a bit of free movement of hook bait there, makes it look more natural, and when it goes in a fish's mouth, this can get out the way and not take the hook out for me. So another little difference is I've shortened it up a bit. This is more like 12 inches, whereas before I was using like 18 inches, 2 foot. And on small compact swims like this, I don't think you need that length. I think it just gets in the way. When you've got heavy lead up the line, swinging around, the further away that is, the more momentum it gets, and it can pull the hook out, which I think is kind of what happened last time I was here and I lost that small fish. Hook bait. Now this is something that I said you don't see many people doing. It's a Smoky Jack boilie and a 14mm drilled halibut pellet. Now normally you'd put on one or the other, or 2 of both of them, but I've gone for a cocktail bait because all the bites I've been getting have been on the boilies, but I prefer pellets. So I put the 2 together, and yeah, that's what the fish took. Wrap it in paste before I cast out. No PVA bag in this swim because it's quite small. If the fish are here, they're here anyway, so I don't really need to feed them. Just one very smelly hook bait in amongst it all, and yeah, that's what the fish took. There it is, all paste wrapped, ready to go. And just for the cast, I covered a hook with paste as well. When it first hits the bottom, it can move around a little bit, so that just helps prevent from blunting the hook. And yeah, that'll dissolve away and leave my hook bait nicely presented with a trail of smell and taste going downstream. Let's get it back in there. So I chose this swim because it's a little bit faster here, the water's a bit deeper, which gives the fish cover during the daytime. There's nice snags inside and outside, and below and above here you've got kind of shallow sluggish water, so it's a little bit of a honey hole for several hundred meters. Perfect place to try. And what I'm going to do is give it another couple hours here, see if I get another bite, and then probably fish my way back to the car.
We're in again, come on. Oh. I think this could be a bigger fish, I hope. I actually cast a lot further back for this one. I stood up on the bank, cast further down the swim. Oh. Jeez. The river itself is putting a lot of pressure on the line, so I've just got to take it very steady. Barbel being barbel, having a one last run. Will not come up. Now that's a better barbel. Come on. So the fish has been retting a net for a while now. And when it's kicking away like that, you know it's recovered and you can bring it out and deal with it. Another one on the smoky jack and halibut pellet combo. Okay, this happens a lot and I always have a little rant about it. But in this fish's fin, there's a very small match type hook, and it's inevitable that people trot in for roach and dace and things are going to get snapped off by barbel. So every time you catch one, just check them over, especially big ones like this. Yeah, that's it. Just one hook in this one. I've known them to have 3. Brilliant fish, much better. Up around the 5–6 pound mark, that one. More like 6, I would say, actually. Much darker, older fish. Brilliant. How long that fish fought for a fish of 5 pounds, that's incredible. Great fish. So yeah, that fish took a fair few minutes to recover there, but swam away nice and strong, gave it a little kick at the end there. Brilliant. So just a little tip here. You don't necessarily always have to have your rods pointing sky high when river fishing. On a small river like this, where my bait is pretty much below me there in a straight line off a rod tip, I can afford to have my rod a lot lower, which means the angle of the line is much more acute and is therefore more likely to be closer to the riverbed where my rig is, so hopefully the fish won't spook off it as much. I don't necessarily believe they spook off the sight of line, but if they come into contact with something that's bowstring tight and almost invisible to them, they're going to leg it from it and not feed confidently around it. So the more I can do to hide my presentation, the better. Well, it's definitely dried up here now, so I'm just going to try one swim on the way back to the car and then call it a day. Okay, last spot here. We'll give it a go, maybe an hour or so before we head on home. It's kind of above where I was fishing before it narrows into the faster water, so maybe there's a few fish up here seeking a bit of shelter.
Well, that's me all packed away there, and what a great day. 2 barbel, 1 big, 1 small, and proper makes up for those fish that I lost and the 3 blanks I did. So yeah, fantastic. And that Orlean pellet combo coming out on top. I'll certainly be keeping that in my locker for another day. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give a video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. But most of all, good luck with your fishing. Yes, yes. Whoa. Freaking Yorkshire. Ah. I think I'll calm down now. Leave the fish in the net while I just figure stuff out.